first time my dead sister called me, I thought it was a cruel joke. My phone rang at exactly 3:17 a.m. I was groggy, barely able to focus on the glowing screen. But the second I saw the name flashing across it, my heart nearly stopped. Emily. That name hadn't appeared on my phone in 3 years. Not since the night she died. My fingers trembled as I answered. Hello? Static filled my ears. A faint, distorted breathing followed. Then, just as I was about to hang up, I heard it. Liam. A whisper, a voice I hadn't heard in years. A voice that should have been impossible. Emily, I choked out, my chest tightening. The static surged, crackling like 1,000 whispers overlapping. Then one phrase cut through the noise with bone-chilling clarity. Help me. Then, silence. I sat frozen, my breath caught in my throat. My mind tried to rationalize it. A prank, a malfunction, anything other than what it really was. But deep down, I knew. Emily was trying to reach me. I barely slept the rest of the night. Morning came, and I couldn't shake the unease crawling under my skin. Emily had been my twin sister, my best friend. When she drowned in Blackwood Lake 3 years ago, it shattered me. I never got closure. They never even found her body. Now she was calling me. I needed answers. The first place I checked was my old phone records. No recent calls from Emily's number. In fact, her number had been disconnected months after she died. I called the service provider, grasping for logic. Sir, that number is no longer in service, the rep confirmed. Are you sure you're not mistaken? I wasn't mistaken. That night I stayed up waiting. 3:17 a.m. came and went. No call, but the nightmares came. I was underwater, deep in Blackwood Lake. Something pale drifted in the darkness. Hair floated like seaweed, limbs swayed unnaturally. Emily. She opened her mouth and lake water gushed out like black tar. Her eyes, wide and vacant, locked onto mine. Then she reached for me. I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat, and my phone rang. Emily. This time I didn't hesitate. Emily, is that you? The static roared in response. Then the whisper. Find me? Find you where? I pleaded. Where are you? Blackwood? Lake? The call cut out. A chill crawled up my spine. My hands shook as I set the phone down. Every logical part of me screamed to ignore it, but my gut knew better. I had to go back. The next morning I packed up and drove 2 hours to Blackwood Lake. The sight of it twisted my stomach. The water was still, eerily so, as if waiting. I stepped onto the old dock where Emily had last stood, the place where she fell, or was pulled into the depths. Emily, I called softly. A gust of wind rippled the surface. And then, a splash. Something was moving beneath the water. I stumbled back as a shape rose just below the surface. A pale hand, fingers splayed, reaching. I blinked, and it was gone. My breath came in ragged bursts. I needed to leave. But as I turned, something caught my eye. A single footprint, wet and unmistakable, leading away from the lake. I followed the footprints deep into the woods, my heart hammering. They led to an old abandoned cabin. I hesitated, then pushed open the door. Inside, the air was stale, thick with decay. The floorboards groaned under my weight. And then I saw it, a dusty phone, sitting on a wooden table. I picked it up. The screen flickered to life, displaying only one thing. Missed call. Emily, 3:17 a.m. A whisper brushed my ear. Help me! I spun around. The room was empty. But as I turned back to the phone, a new message appeared. He did this. My blood ran cold. Emily didn't drown by accident. Someone killed her. I spent the next day digging through old police reports. One name kept surfacing, Ethan Carver, Emily's ex-boyfriend. They had fought the night she disappeared. He claimed she ran into the woods drunk, but something never sat right with me. And now she was telling me the truth. That night I returned to the lake. I stood at the water's edge, heart pounding. Emily, I know what happened to you. The wind howled, the water churned, and then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned just as a figure lunged. Ethan. You should have stayed away, Liam. His voice was sharp, filled with something dark. "You can't save her." The next second, he shoved me, hard. The world spun. Cold water swallowed me whole. I thrashed, kicking toward the surface, but something grabbed my ankle. Something cold. A face emerged from the darkness. Emily. Her eyes met mine. And this time, she wasn't reaching for help. She was pulling me down. I screamed, bubbles rushing from my mouth. My vision blurred. And then, I was on the shore coughing up water. Ethan was nowhere to be seen. Only the lake remained, still, quiet. And then my phone rang. I picked it up, my fingers trembling. "Emily," I answered, my breath shaky. "Emily."